Welcome everybody, come on in. I am working today on hashtag Junk Journal Madness. This is hosted by Susan at I Totally Love It, and this month she has a guest host, as she often does. Her name is Polly, and she is at Charming Tabby is her station name, and Susan's station name is I Totally Love It. And Susan does hashtag Junk Journal Madness. And February is the first one this year. And Polly selected a number of possible themes, and Susan spun a wheel and it landed on flowers. So this is going to be a flower journal, and I'm going to make a journal. For the hashtag, I'm going to use at least 7 materials to do this, and there will be 7 items, ephemera or makes for the journal to fill it up. And I'm trying something a little bit different today. I've been wanting to make a folio type of a journal, and so that's what I'm doing today. So my idea is to make this kind of extensive journal that this will be the front cover. So is what I'm thinking is this is going to be the one side, and it will flip like this, and this side will flip like this, and then they'll flip out, okay? And then you'll be able to have this part will flip up. So this is going to be attached like this. So that will flip out, and then this is the, so I don't get confused, then this will be attached here, so this will flip up, okay, and then we'll have a flip that goes from here to here, and this will also be able to open from here to here. And then these 2 pieces will have an attached piece that will flip down here. So essentially, this is not how we're going to do this. This is just going to be a piece of cardstock here to keep it kind of thin. So this will be like an 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock that will flip down so that you'll have something like this. And then this is going to flip up like this, and I think I have this planned out. So you'll have this whole square that will open up when the journal is open, and then you can close this and close this, and then 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 close this, and it will be once you have it all closed up again, it will be like this size. I'm super excited. I haven't tried this, so come along with me and see if I can make this flippy folio. So the first thing, so as far as materials go, I'm making this, these are pretty sturdy. Actually, they're sturdier than I thought they were going to be after I cut them down. But these are just, I get these notepads, and I use these notepads to make writing journals because they're already lined, or I can include these in my junk journals for writing space. But I've just taken the backs and cut them down, and basically I cut about 1 inch off of the top, or half an inch off of the top, and then just cut that in half to make this. So that's what I'm using as the paper, and that's just a totally reused piece of this. And these, I'm going to cover these with coffee filter. Again, a recycled material. These are kind of, I use these to make coffee in my pour over coffee maker. So that's what I'm using for materials to get started. And so there's 2 materials out of the 7 that I need. And I can also count materials that I've used for, and I have some pattern paper and some cardstock. So this is getting me quite a ways. I have, as you can see, I have a plan. And again, I have not figured this out entirely, this piece. But the first thing I'm going to do for sure is I am going to cover, I'm going to glue down some of these. I need to cover with cardstock, or with the I can cover some of these separately, and some of these I need to cover together. So I'm going to try and cover the ones that I'm covering together and these are all the same. These are all, like I said, this is 8.5 by 11 by 5.5 inches. So this is basically just a sheet of 5.5 by 11 cardstock is really what you're looking at here, which is going to work for me later, and I think this is going to work. So here is, I'm going to leave a 1-inch spine here, and I have a couple of, these are 1-inch spines that are as tall as this, so they're 5.5 by 1 inch across. And is what I need to do now is I need to glue these down onto this, onto my coffee filter, because I would rather have the seam in the middle of the center here than have it be kind of on this spine, which is much thinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work with one piece of this at a time. I think this is going to work. So probably is what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take a piece of book page and glue on here right on this seam so that this shouldn't show later. And you could use a piece of fabric or really anything that you have. Okay. I think I can use glue stick for this. I do want this to hold this down because this is going to be holding this together. Once I get it on there, I'm going to put some white glue on here on the other side of it. This is going to be holding these two pieces together. So I do want to get a good coating of glue on here because this is going to become, I mean, what's holding my book together. Okay. Let us kind of line these up. I really do love working with these coffee filters. Because this is just such a really cool material to work with. I really do love it. It feels kind of like a mix between paper and fabric at the end of the day. And for the next, I'm going to do this 3 times, I guess. For the next 2, I think I'm just going to use a strip of book page to hold these together. I don't know that I need to have this. This is going to be on the inside of the cover, and you're not going to really see it. And you can kind of see it through there, which I think is fine, because we are going to decorate these. We're not going to have them lying out. But as I was saying, this is going to, this is holding my book together here. Okay. So let's try that again with really just a smaller piece of book page, because I don't think we need all of that. Although it is going to lend this a little bit more strength and possibly give us a little bit of interest where you can see like the writing coming through and the page coming through, which is okay. I always like these reference pages from this book. So I think I need how many pages? I think I need a full 4 pages. So, because this will be the center and I need to have one over here and I need to have one over here to make this work. I have tons of these copy filters. So again, this is very much using up what I have a lot of. Using up what you have a lot of. So I'm just going to do this. I think this will be fine as far as this goes. Okay. Copy filters are not quite square, so they are longer in one direction than in the other direction. So I'm just going to line these up together. I hope you all are having a great day. It is, yeah, I was going to start filming this video much earlier. And I sat down and, as you can see, made rather extensive notes to myself to really kind of have an idea of what I was doing, because I wanted to kind of get a whole vision of it beforehand. So you can see I did sit down and play with the pieces till I was really convinced that this might work. I was still, I haven't made a journal like this before. I did watch a tutorial. I've seen people make these kind of folios before. It's just I've never made one, and I wanted to really kind of try it because I thought it would be cool. So I guess I need 4 pieces. So I think this one should be the last one. I got really crazy crafting last week, and that was the other thing that kind of slowed me down tonight, was I had so many different things out for the last week, and I finally kind of said, you know what, it's time to put our things away, because I had every piece of flower ephemera out that I could find, because I was getting some Happy Mail ready as well. So I don't know, it just seems like February has been the month of flowers, and it has not just been me. I've kind of gone in that flower direction because of this hashtag that I've always wanted to do this, and I just didn't, just didn't ever feel like I was always kind of thinking that, like, oh, I don't know, making a whole journal in a month is kind of a lot. But I finally have been working on this idea that not every journal needs to be, 240 pages long. I might be exaggerating just a little bit, but I'm really kind of coming down on the idea of, like, maybe we could make a very small, like, 10-page journal. Or in this case, I guess this is going to technically be, like, 9 pages, flip outs. It's a folio. which is really kind of more decorated than it is like, I don't think I'm really going to leave any space. It's not really my intention to leave spaces in here for like journaling or anything. It's really my intention that this is more like just a fun sort of activity, pretty thing that you can put on your shelf and revisit, kind of like a book, but more like an activity center. A thing that's just a pretty decorated thing that'll be fun to show people and look through and see what kinds of things are in here. Or maybe you could use it to like store seeds for different times of the year or something. That could be fun. Make it your seed locker. Okay, I don't like the way these two pages don't seem to be cooperating very well, but let's get them on here where we want them. Okay. That's going to be a seam, but I think a lot of that's going to kind of get covered up. And so we're not going to worry about that too much. I think it looks fine. This one's kind of boring, isn't it? Okay, I think these are going to be covered up once we get going here, in large part. Okay, so I think I'm going to start right here in the center. Okay, so this is the middle of my extended paper. Everything looks really good. I want to put these down near the bottom of here. That's why I kind of left that open, because I'm going to cut that part top off, excuse me. I'm going to glue this down. This is Lineco PVA glue. This is a pH neutral adhesive. It's just PVA glue. You could use Elmer's glue. A lot of people do. This is a bookbinding glue. And of course I have gotten too much on here. As one does. So let's just do this. See, I have enough for at least both of my spines and that piece. This will be the very center and basis of our book. Okay, so I have glued this piece down. I have been interrupted by a cat. I have rehomed the cat to the downstairs behind the door. She'll be fine. She wanted no part of any of this until, until I started talking to myself up here. And all of a sudden she just needed all of the attention. So, as she does, it's fine. She's just worried about me up here talking to myself. So basically the idea here is you want to give it enough room to move freely. I'm gonna just put it up and then lay it down slightly farther away. And that's what we're gonna do. I'm concerned this is ever so slightly crooked, so hopefully I don't run out of room, but I only have one more piece to put over there. We'll put it up there next. It is a long piece. It's a long piece. I haven't made this before. I did just kind of come up with this pattern on my own. So I am hoping that all of this works out. So it's going to be a learning curve. I am keeping a commonplace notebook this year. So I will have to make a diagram and a sketch and write out some some directions, and I will write that down in maybe a PDF and make that available on my Ko-fi shop as well if anybody's interested. I will have to remember to do that, but I think that that would be beneficial to me and possibly to you. Okay. I don't know where all my centerpieces have gone. Center left. Aha. This is center left. I am trying to keep these all center right. So that'll go over there. And that is all of this piece. The rest of those pieces will be covered and applied with hinges made out of cardstock. Okay, so this piece and that piece, and that's going to be plenty. Okay, great. And by plenty and saying that, I mean that I have, that this is not so crooked that this piece is going to go way off the coffee filter. I didn't think so, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna fold this into about half where it's already folded and cut a piece off because that is the right height. And then I'm gonna glue this down, and I'm gonna glue this down with glue stick. Okay, I am liking that. You could put something even more. You could use fabric. This would be a good place. If you were going to use fabric at all in this journal, this would be a good place to put it. I do generally think of these copy filters as being pretty sturdy, and that's doubled up, so that shouldn't be too terrible. I really am loving my glue stick today. Okay, and you can make that nice and gathered. That's awesome. I love that part right there. Perfect. Okay, and we'll do one on this other seam as well. All right. That one, kind of a little short there. And let's get that. You could also, I mean, I'm using my fingernail for this, which is maybe what has happened to my manicure. Who could tell? You might also use your bone folder for this. Although I feel like my fingers are getting in there. There's a little bit more gap right here than there is right here, but I think it's even, so my page is on, at least. This looks fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this down and then just kind of cover that one side. And the thing is, my plans for decorating this are probably going to be to cover the entire inside, like here to here. So I don't need a lot of coverage, I just need this to be enough. But this material is very flexible, almost like I was saying. It's very much, it kind of behaves like a cross between paper and fabric. It's very sturdy and it bends, and it's kind of thin, but it's also very, very sturdy. The next step here is just to continue to probably do the corners, and then glue all the corners down. There's still only 4 corners, and then we can glue up these other pieces, and we will have a big long piece of this done, and then we'll cover the one side of the rest of our portfolio pieces. I frequently cover books in like cardstock, and it is just a lot more difficult to work with. But also, I mean, I'm kind of assuming that this folio is not, it's a little bit kind of a lighter weight item, although I think it's going to be, I mean, fairly sturdy, but I also don't think it's going to, like, I mean, take the beating of some of my journals, where sometimes, I mean, I use my journals as writing journals, and I will stick them in my bag and carry them with me to, you know, wherever it is. On vacation they go with me. The ones I use as writing journals. This one's going to be kind of more like a sit on the shelf and flip daintily through it kind of a journal. Loving the corners. I love doing the corners where I do the fold rather than cutting them off. I just like the coverage. It always gives me nice coverage. And that's why I do it with the 45 degree. You don't want to have too much bulk in there. These coffee filters, they're, I mean, like I said, they're very thin but sturdy, so it's not gonna be a problem, I don't think. Okay, there's that. So now I have this. So is what I'm thinking, and I'll put a cover on, and I probably won't put a cover over the back. We'll see. I might, you can. And I have some beautiful flower papers that I'm probably going to put on these to finish them out and use on the inside as well. The next thing is there's these 4 pieces which will be flips, and I'm just going to cover the back side of these with the coffee filter. So I will do that now. So now I have covered all 4 of these flip out pages. So now is what I want to do. The next thing I want to do is I want to attach the hinges to here, and I'll attach these to here. So these are all the same. It doesn't really matter. I want to do the hinges so that then when I cover these, it will cover the hinge. So what we're going to do is There's 2 hinges that will attach on the top. So we'll have hinges that attach, I guess, I don't know. Let's try and keep this in the right order. It doesn't really matter. There'll be a hinge here and a hinge here. And that will flip up, and then this will flip out. So there will be a hinge here, and there will be a hinge here. And then this is just going to be covered with an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock that will flip down and flip back up. Okay. I am loving this project. So what I have is I have these pieces, and they're cut so that they are 2 1/4 inch wide, and this is 8.5 inches wide to align here as a hinge, and these are 5.5 inches tall, so those will align here as a hinge. So what we're going to do is we're going to score these pieces. Well, I couldn't find that, but I did find this, and I think this will work better just because hopefully it's a little thinner. This is quite thick cardstock, and checking to make sure it's actually scoring there. And so let's try this one. It's too thick. This one is like super thick. It's nice for some things, but not for others. And then you want to leave 1/4 inch and go over to the next bit. And we're just going to do that on both of our pieces. Now I'm kind of thinking, and so that'll give you 1/4 inch kind of mini spine there for that to fold, so you'll have some room there for folding and for putting your goods in there and decorating. So what's going to happen here is this hinge is going to attach here. Right there, along there. And that's fine. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's just glue this on right now. Shall we? Let's just glue this right down, and then I think it should become apparent. I think if we glue this down, it can tell us if we need to cut that and where. That's the way we're doing this. That's how I set this whole thing up. I made some decisions about what size I wanted it to be, and I kind of started putting it together. Okay, so this is going right here, because it says this gets a top left hinge right here. So this is going to be the top left corner of our book. Okay. We want to get that nice and well attached. I almost think not completely straight. Want it nice and straight. Okay. And this other piece is going to attach to the top center. But this piece also is going to attach to the top center. Center top. So this will attach here, Okay. And that will be like that. And this, yeah, I think this will work. And this can go here, and then that can attach right over the top of that. And that, so that'll be like that. And this will be like that. Okay, we're fine. We are fine. We don't need to cut anything. We can keep everything the same size that it is. And everything is going to work. I know, I'm shocked. Okay. Sometimes it's easier to, convince yourself. Spend a little bit of time convincing yourself. Okay, so that's going to attach there, and that will attach there. So let's go ahead and to put some glue on this guy. Let's see if we can get this to work with just glue stick. I do have some double-sided tape, and I guess I could use that. Maybe I'll try that on the next piece. Just because maybe less sticky than glue. Right? Okay, so that will go right there. All right. Put it right in its place. Okay. And then we can attach this piece. I'll attach this piece to here. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And, okay. And then maybe we'll attach the other two hinges to the other side pieces. Why not? And then we'll attach it all to the other piece. So here's the center bottom. So this will get attached here. Let me just stick this down a little bit because that's got a support and I don't want that coming up. I don't want that coming up at all. Okay, and I suppose like if you wanted to, you could have put this on the outside and I think it would have been very pretty that way. But I decided I kind of wanted to cover these hinges, but you could have put them on the outside as well, and I think they would have been very pretty that way. At least, anyway, And also I'm probably going to cover most of this anyway, because that's going to be part of my book. Okay, so same thing, repeat. And you want to do the other side because this side's going to open the opposite way. We got glue all over us. Okay, center bottom. So we're gonna put that right along there. Okay, so that's that, and then this one is going to open this way. So let's, got so many of these that I'm just going to use this as a throwaway. Does this matter? No. No, it does not. Trying to get adequate amount of glue. This glue is very, very sticky tonight, so I'm gonna put this all together with a glue stick. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. Okay, so let's okay, so I have kind of the same thing. So this will be the center of the book, and we just have to attach this to, oh, well, bottom right. Okay, so now I have to attach this piece to here, okay? And that will be the centers of my book. I'm gonna put this on here to do this. Okay. That will go right there. Okay. piece is a little bit off there. And I actually like it better. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now is what we have is we have this piece that will open out this way. I hope you're starting to see this. This piece that will open out this way, and these will be kind of like the last pieces that open out in this book. Okay. Oh my goodness. Alright guys, how are you doing? Okay. I know. So now what we can do is attach the center, and then, yeah, let's find our middle part of our book. We're almost done, actually. We are almost done. Okay. So now we have the top and the bottom parts, and we just have to hinge these into the center of here. So all we have to do is glue this in and the top in. So let's get that done, shall we? This would be easier on another surface. Is this not the most awkward gluing you've ever seen in your entire life? Perhaps. Okay. Let's put that here. And we'll test this and make sure we're going in the right direction. I hope so, guys. I hope so. Let's just get that so that this can hopefully get right into there. I think we're gonna have room to, again, open and close everybody up. Okay. I think we're gonna have room for all of this to play well together. Okay. That could have been maybe just a skosh shorter so it wasn't interfering with this gutter. So maybe cut that, not much, like slightly less. Okay, and now we attach this one here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, I have been wanting to make this, and I've been feeling very kind of like, I don't know how. And I just sat down tonight and was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure this out, and I will have it. I don't know how we're gonna decorate this, but that's what the rest of February is for. Well, I have several other things going on in February and March. That's okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Let's look and see. Kind of scoosh it around. Make sure it's halfway. It's not nearly far enough up. Okay. And up and up and up. How are we going to align this? I don't know why we're having troubles. It's like the last one. It's not like we haven't done every other one. Okay, let's do that. Okay, align that right where you want it. Just really get it on there. Okay. Covered in glue. That's okay. It's a good place to be. Let's go ahead. Oops, flip that up. Just kind of burnish that down. in place where we want it. And that, my friends, look at this. Okay, so this is largely this. We're, remember, going to put a piece of cardstock in these missing corners. So there'll be a piece of cardstock that'll flip down here. Great. And then we will have this whole book will open out like this. So you'll have this huge space when it's fully opened. And of course you don't have to have it fully opened. It'll be like that. And this is not gonna close. Oh no. We needed that to be bigger, I'm afraid. Well, okay. This one was slightly bigger. By accident, not by design, but we need to make that one a little bit bigger to accommodate that. And then that and that. I did order some magnets, so I might put a magnet like here and here, and that would be really fun. You could put a closure here. This would be a good time to figure out if you want to put a closure. There are a few things. So you definitely want to have one of these be probably 3/4, a half an inch. One of mine turned out to be a little bit bigger than the other one. Makes total sense. I knew something was not going to work, and I think everything else is gonna fit. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay. I do think also that this right here, this page could be slightly shorter than this one. Okay, more luck than management, but we are doing this. Okay, so, oh, I love this. This is so fantastic. I have seen my friend dye the Messy Palette AU. She's in Australia, and she makes books that are like this, and she puts in like whole journals, like she'll attach a journal in here. I've seen her do one recently. She did a botanical journal that had Coptic stitching, and then it had folios in the middle. So this would be like a center portion in that journal. I'm just so thrilled with how this is looking and how this looks right now. I think it looks really, really cool. And it was fairly easy. Okay. Okay. So what I need, oh no, you're not gonna stay. Okay. Boop. I mean, it's a little bit shorter here because of the way it's made, and there's not this like 1.5 inch here, which is fabulous. So I'm gonna just put this on here right now, and I'll figure out what I'm gonna do for a closure. This would be a really good time to put a closure if you wanted to poke any kind of a hole in here and attach like a button or something. And then I'm just trying to think if I have anything, but I kind of want to like decorate this too first. But I want to show you what I'm going to do with some of the inside parts of this. So I do have these beautiful cardstocks, which I think will coordinate with what I'm doing in here. I just found these in my stash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one here. Maybe, I kind of want you to see it when you open this. So I am going to put one here. Well, I'm going to do it like this, and this is why. Because it's got this beautiful print and I don't want to I want you to be able to see and appreciate these beautiful prints. These are really pretty, just beautiful cardstocks, and I want to use all of it. And the back side is just some kind of like orangey weird color. I'm doing this, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna score this. This is 8.5 by 11 inches. So I'm gonna score this at 5.5 inches, hopefully. To help this fold in half. Really nice and crisp. And then I'm going to attach that to my journal. Oh man, I did it in 2 different spaces. Okay, that's what I get for trying to do this without doing it correctly and seeing where I could do. Okay, I think these are pretty. Okay. And I, of course, have done both of these wrong because I said I wanted to glue down this plain side and not the flowery side. Okay, so this will go here because that will flip out there. So this flips down and this side will flip okay. So I'm just trying to get that centered right there. I'll burnish this down. And that is the journal construction. This is the last flippy out piece, right? And so the rest is kind of really just decorating. And I have, I'm gonna cover all of these spaces with some flower paper that I have. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to cover. So I need to cut those down and just glue them in. And I'll show you the whole thing. Oops, that goes in. It's got a direction. Okay, so this is very exciting for me. I love this. It kind of smells faintly of coffee. Okay. It's a flippy flappy book, right? Okay. Let me show you what I have, and we'll cut those down because they're gonna have to be cut down a little tiny bit again to go on here. Awesome. Okay, so these are the papers that I have that I'm going to, I'll probably use one of these on the cover. I'm gonna not work on that right now until I really get into decorating. Right now is what I want. It didn't stick down all the way. It's coming up. I guess I could have made these into pockets even. Anyway, we'll see what we get up to. I haven't made huge decisions on how I'm going to decorate this yet. It is late. This is my flower journal. Not very flowery, a little flowery. Look, we got some flowers going on. This is, we have prepared the soil. And next time we can put some fun things like probably a pocket right here. Boop. So this will flip out. This will flip up. This will flip out. This is going to be so much fun to decorate. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I've never made one of these before, and now I am. And I'm going to include some of these flower stamps that I like to make in this too. And yes, so thank you very much for joining me. I'm super excited about this portfolio journal. I wanted to make one. I am going to get this out and continue to work on it for the next 2 weeks that we have left in February. We're getting short on time, but I think that this was kind of the biggest part of this. Thank you so much to Susan at I Totally Love It for hosting this along with Polly. It was her idea to do flowers, and she's doing collaboration with her and co-host this month. And I didn't know Polly at, I can never remember, Charming Tabby. I didn't know her before, and she looks like she has a really cool channel. So I like doing these challenges because I get to meet new people. Thank you to all of my subscribers. It means so much to me and to all of us YouTube creators when you give us that subscribe. Let our subscriber counts go up. And yes. And hopefully you found this tutorial useful. Please hit the like button if you feel like doing that. Share this with a friend who might like to make one of these. This is, I'm going to be making more of these. I really truly am, because I think this is just going to be a blast to decorate, and kind of sizes my journals down to heavy decorating once this is done. And the decorating is really the part that, like, I like putting these books together. I liked figuring this out, but it's a very different kind of a like than actually getting to decorate. This is kind of still work, and the decorating kind of becomes this really great plaything. So that's super good. This is so cool. This is so cool. I'll make a few adjustments and write down the directions and post them on my Ko-fi shop with a link to where you can find that. And I'm gonna go to sleep, but I am super excited about this. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Until then, stitch scrappily and scrap happily, and bye-bye.